So we're looking at question 1. Freeze Air is a company that makes and sells fridges and freezers. It is supplied with a physical ERD and its data files so that you can create a database. Each invoice contains only a single product item, but may contain more than one of those items. The ERD is shown here. So they've given us this diagram that's going to help us to create this database. They say the data to create the database is located in the files faproduct.csv, fainvoice.csv, facust.csv, and facust2.txt. This is a text file, and create this database. So we're going to use this diagram to help us make this database in Access. So just notice that they've given us 4 files to use to create this database. So we can assume that this product table over here can be made from faproduct, this invoice table from fainvoice, and in this customer table we are going to make from cust1 and cust2, these 2 files. So we're probably going to have to merge cust1 and cust2 together. And just because when you're going to import files into Access, we can only import .csv files. So what we're probably going to do is take the information from cust2 and copy and paste it into cust1, if we can do so. So let's open up cust1. So here are the list of the files, so cust1. And remember, you can resize all of these columns to make everything fully visible. If you click on this little triangle and double click the line between the A and the B, so everything's fully visible. So you can see here the heading is customer number, given name, family name, address 1, address 2, address 3, and discount. And now if you open up cust2, this information should be similar, but you can see it looks a little bit different how it's organized. So what we're going to do is copy this information into Excel and then try and place the data under the correct columns. So to highlight all the information in this notepad file, you can do Control A, and then you can copy, and we're going to paste it into Excel. So for now, I'm just going to paste it on the right here, and then try and line up the data to where it should go. So for example, in column A, you can see this is the customer number. So I'm going to take these customer numbers, and I'm just going to copy and paste it in this column. So just after this last entry, paste it. Family name. So just be careful. Given name is column B. Family name is the 3rd column. Then given name. So given name is column B. And discount. Discount is in column G. And then address 1 to address 3, we can copy all 3 of these. And that is going to go over here. So now we have all the information under the correct headings. So I'm just going to highlight this info over here. We don't need this anymore. We've copied it and pasted it to where it should go. So delete. And I'm going to resave this file as customers. And just remember, it has to be saved as a .csv file. So it's got to be the comment delimited option. Otherwise, we cannot import it into Access. So save. We can close it. Okay, so now we can open up Access and import the files that we have, faproduct, fainvoice, and then our customer file that we just saved. So we're going to open up Access, and to import a file into Access, you're just going to go to external data at the top. So on your computers, the text file option should be below external data. If you have Office 365, you're going to go to New Data Source, From File, and we're going to get a text file. Then we're going to browse, and you've got to go to the location to where these files are found. And we're going to choose the first file, which is faproduct. So faproduct, and open. And we're going to say OK. Okay, we're always going to have delimited selected here. Next. Notice that the headings over here, they aren't selected as our field names or our headings in Access. So we're going to tick first row contains field names in order for it to do so. And then we're going to go to Advanced. Now what we need to do is make sure that the data types that we see over here for code, model, price, etc. match the data types that they want us to have for those fields. So code must be alphanumeric, model must be alphanumeric. So alphanumeric is just text. So code, it is short text, that's fine. Model is short text, that's fine. Price is currency, so we can change long integer to currency. Then capacity is numeric integer, so it's got to be integer. So long integer is fine. Energy ratings, text, color is text. So that is what we have over here. So there's nothing more to do in terms of the data types. So we can say OK. And now we keep on hitting next until we get to the primary key option. So next, next, choose my own primary key. Here, PK, that's the primary key, is the code. So choose my own primary key. Make sure code is selected. And next. And instead of saying this is called FA product, we're just going to say product, because that is the name of the table here. And finish. Close. And you can double click on the left side here on the product table. It should open it up for you. Otherwise you can always right click and say open. So now I'm just going to make sure that the headings or the field names match the field names given on our page. So it's code, model, price, capacity. So code, model, price, capacity. You've got to make sure they look exactly the same as given. Like energy rating has an underscore instead of a space. That's exactly what we have here, so it's correct. And color is the last field. So we've imported the first table, which is right. You'll notice there's table 1 over here. You can close table 1. It might disappear. If it doesn't disappear once you close it up here, you can always right click on it on the left side and hit delete. So now we're going to go and import the next table, which is invoice. So external data, new data source, from file, text file. Browse. So FA invoice, open. Okay, always delimited. We tick the first row contains field names. Then we go to advanced. Now we need to make sure that our data types match. So invoice number is numeric. So invoice number, you can see that these are integers. So long integer is fine. Cust ID is alphanumeric. Product code is alphanumeric. So alphanumeric is text. So these are both short text. That's correct. Quantity is an integer. That's correct. And the rest are date and time. So date with time is correct. And just check that the date order is correct for all of the date fields. So in other words, for example, collect date, you can see this is in day, month, year. So just make sure that the date order here is in day, month, year. If it was, for example, month, day, year, you would have to change it to day, month, year. So okay. Now we keep going to the primary key. Primary key for this table, PK, is the invoice number. So choose the primary key, invoice number, next, and we're going to call this invoice. And finish. And you can double click on it and it should open up. If, for example, you have errors on the left hand side or you get import errors as a message, you would then have to delete your table and re-import that file and just try and make sure that everything is correct in that importation wizard. So the last one is the customer file. So now we go external data, new data source, from file, text file, browse. So here's the file that we saved. Open. So okay. It's delimited again. First row contains field names and advanced. So cust ID, notice it says customer number. This we're going to change. And we can even change this now if we like. So it should be cust ID. So we're going to say cust ID. Maybe let's change all the names. So given name, family name, you can see the underscores between instead of a space. So backspace underscore, backspace underscore. Address 123, you can see that there are no spaces here, so you can remove the spaces, and discount's the final one. So removed the space between address and these numbers. Okay, so to check the data types, cust ID should be alphanumeric. Everything's alphanumeric up to address 3, which is what you see over here. Alphanumeric is just text, or in Access we're going to use short text. And discount, if we click OK, discount, if we scroll across here, you can see discount is in decimal form. So instead of using long integer for discount as our numeric data type, double is the data type that stores decimals. If you don't choose double, it will remove the decimals, and therefore those discount values will be wrong. You'll be getting zeros for discount values, as an example, because 0.1 without the decimal would be just 0. So you can say OK, and now we just keep on clicking next until you get to the primary key. So the primary key here is cust ID. So cust ID, and next. And then the name of the table we're going to change to customer. And finish. And there we go. So it looks like everything has been imported successfully. And now the final step is to make sure that the field sizes have been set. So we'll set the field sizes in the next video.